Oh, I'm drinking water because that's what we're talking about today. I have a question for you. Have you drank enough water today to stay hydrated? Do you drink enough water on a daily basis to keep you hydrated? Well, it's important that water plays a key role in many of our bodily functions that include bringing nutrients to the cell, getting rid of waste, protecting our joints and organs, and a whole slew of other important things for our good health span and everyday living. So, again, I ask you, how much water have you drunk today? Have you had enough? Well, I want to welcome you to LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, we elevate our health. Water is one way we elevate it, and we evolve in mind and body. And as usual, it seems like any topic that we talk about also brings into play cognitive function and brain health, and water is the same there too. So, got to get our water in, got to be hydrated. It's a simple yet critical part of maintaining good health. So, I need you to think about that and not take it for granted. And I think sometimes that's what happens. We take it for granted that, I drink water, but if we really stop and think about it, we probably haven't drunk enough. And we're going to talk about what are some of the signs of not having enough water, what are some of the benefits, some tips on how we can do better, some things we need to stay away from. So I encourage you to stay to the end for all of that. Now, there's a statistic and research has backed this up that about 75% of Americans do not drink enough and they're chronically dehydrated. So that's a large chunk. 75 out of 100 people, that would be. So hopefully you're not one of those. For me, water's an easy thing because my whole life, that's probably basically what I've drunk on a daily basis. Probably 95 to 98% of anything I've ever drank or drunk in my life has been water. So that's one of the things I'm good at. I don't know if on a daily basis if I've had enough, but I do drink a lot of water. How much should you drink? Well, in the past, used to say get 8 glasses a day. Well, newer research actually says a little different. They're saying for males, 15.5 cups a day of water is what men need, and for females, 11.5. Now, that's including any other avenue where we may be getting fluid, and we're going to talk about that because there's some fruits and vegetables that will do that, coffee to some degree, and there's probably other fluids, but a lot of things are competing for our attention when it comes to fluid, whether it's coffee or tea, fancy coffee drinks, sodas, juices, sports drinks, alcohol, all sorts of things out there that vie for our attention to drink them, but not all of them are beneficial and not all of them give us the benefits of water itself. And actually, some of them are filled with a lot of sugar and they're giving us extra calories that we don't need. And I heard this a super long time ago, and I believe it and try to stick to it, where we don't want to drink our calories because we're going to eat them. There's very good chance we're going to eat our calories. So when you're drinking them, they're usually come in big quantities, and now you're drinking a lot of calories, eating a lot of calories, and we wonder why obesity is at an epidemic level in our country and in the world, frankly. So we don't want to be chronically dehydrated. And what are some of the things that show or signs or symptoms that we're suffering from dehydration? Well, a basic one is thirst. If you're thirsty, then it's a good sign that you're not drinking enough. But even hunger, especially after we ate, if we had a meal and then for some reason we're still hungry, that could be a sign of being dehydrated. Also, our urine, when we go to the bathroom, a darker colored urine. If we have dry mouth, that could be a sign too. And dehydration can lead to some of these things like fatigue, weakness, poor stamina. What I found interesting, one that it talks about a lot, is headaches. People who have headaches could be a sign of dehydration. And actually, if you get headaches a lot, you start drinking water, some people report way less headaches. So could be a connection there that you want to keep in mind. So less skin elasticity and dry mouth, dry eyes, dry lips. So we think of that sometimes just as a winter thing, but it could be because we're not hydrated enough. So got to keep that in mind. And there's many other things. If we're chronically dehydrated, it could lead to quite a few aches, pains, and ailments that we certainly don't want. So good to get that in order. Again, it's a simple thing. We just need to take care of business, so to speak. And what are some things that we can do? One excellent recommendation, just to start, um, every morning when we wake up, one of the first things we should do is drink a full glass of water. Has so many different benefits, but particularly we're starting the day right and setting the tone that today we're going to drink our share of water of what we need. And depending on our work schedule, where we work, how we work, having a water bottle with us, that can help us. A lot of places I know where I work have water coolers, filtered spring water that we're able to use, and still bring a bottle with me to fill up. And we're going to talk about some of those things of what we should have. Some people download hydration apps to keep themselves in line. An alarm on your phone, but having water with us will encourage us to get things going. And maybe at first we need to keep track somehow, whether it's on our phone or some other way. Maybe you need to keep track of how many glasses or cups we had in a day. It's interesting that something to keep in mind. I don't think it's going to affect anybody, but you never know. Can you drink too much water? Well, I'm sure you've heard stories. I remember several years ago, radio station having some kind of contest about drinking water, and somebody drank too much water and they died. So it definitely can be an issue. So we don't want to overdo it, but it's kind of hard to overdo it unless you're really, really pushing it. But it's something to be aware of. We're always, again, this whole channel is devoted to health and longevity, so we don't want to do something that could harm us. So we'll keep that in mind. Now, something else that's important when we're drinking water is that we can get some water from fruits and vegetables. And there's things like spinach, blueberries, watermelon, all sorts of things that can help us to get water. Water lemon, iceberg, lettuce, celery, cucumbers, all sorts of things. So we can't replace drinking water by just eating these things, but certainly it helps to supplement and keep us hydrated. And that's the goal. And what's important too is our replacing electrolytes. Now there's so many electrolyte products on the market now, and many biohackers actually are adding them into their waters, and you might want to consider that. But things like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chlorine, and phosphate, all these things are affected. They're fluids that we find in our blood and sweat and urine. And when we sweat or we go to the bathroom, we're losing a lot of these things. So they need to be replenished. And again, water helps with that, and different foods that we eat, fruits and vegetables. And maybe if you want to add a product in, might not be a bad idea. That glass of water in the morning that I mentioned, some people, that's how they start their day, by putting electrolytes in their drink in the morning. Now, keep in mind, as we age, I didn't realize this, but the sensations of being thirsty tend to decline. Imagine that. We're finding out that so many things as we age decline. And here's another one, our thirst sensation. So older folks, aging folks, as we age, we need to give this attention, because thirst might not be the trigger that hey, I haven't drank any water, I'm thirsty. So we might have to give it extra attention to make sure as we age, because one of the things we talked about, cognitive function, well, that declines as we age. So the connection there, water can help that. Memory, mood. So we definitely want to make sure that we get enough water. So the bottom line is hydration is essential for physical, mental performance and contributes to our overall health. So however you got to do that up the levels, it's going to help all of our brains. But as I said, as individuals, as we age, cognitive function, it's something we need. Something else that helps is digestive harmony, in the sense that we want to have healthy bowel movements, and certainly water is going to assist in that, digestion. And if we're suffering from irregular bowel movements and gas and bloating, even heartburn, could be a sign that we're not hydrated enough. So again, water comes into the picture there. Energy. We don't think that water is going to give us energy, but that's another area that gives us energy. How about weight loss? Interesting. There's two studies. One study of women with excess weight found that drinking additional glasses of water before each meal resulted in substantial reduction in body weight, body mass index, and body composition. And one of the reasons is why, again, why this other study mentions water, just having water intake, increasing it by just 1%, individuals consumed fewer calories. So one of the, I guess, a hack would be, if we're going to sit down and there's an opportunity to have a very large meal, if we drink a whole glass of water prior to the meal, we may not eat as much. So it can help in that area as well. This one's an important one, especially as we age too, is decreased joint pain. As we get older, everything starts to crack and creak and start to get joint pains, whether it's knees, wrists, elbows, shoulders, could be all over the place. But keeping ourselves lubricated, I'm going to read what it says about that. It says, did you know that the cartilage in our joints contain approximately 80% water? So staying hydrated helps your joints stay well lubricated, which helps reduce friction by creating more of a cushion between the bones. So we can see where less friction means smoother. So smoother joints and moving joints, which will mean fewer aches and pains. So it also helps us in other areas, a healthier heart. We know that our blood is made up largely of H2O, water. So when we don't drink enough glasses of water, it can have an impact on our hearts. It could become concentrated and cause an imbalance of the vital minerals. So every reason we have fully for wanting to drink enough water on a daily basis. Also improved detoxification, as we mentioned, going to the bathroom and getting rid of waste in our body. Certainly we don't want to have an abundance of waste inside the body. We want to get rid of it. And sweating obviously is a good way too, but also as we go to the bathroom. So water is going to help us to do that in a very good functional way. So as I mentioned regarding water, I showed this earlier, and this is where the caution is. It's not going to kill us to drink out of a plastic bottle, and when the option is not drinking or drinking out of plastic, certainly drink out of a plastic bottle, but that's not what we want to be our regular source of water. Especially when we store it, we want to use glass containers or stainless steel. And we try to avoid the plastic bottles because they potentially can give us microplastics that we don't want in our body, chemical exposures, things that are going to hurt us, hurt our hormones, disrupt them, cellular damage. And so we're careful where we get our water. And if you keep a water bottle in the car and it's hot, there's a chance of it leaching, chemical leaching, and it can cause chemicals like BPA or phthalates to leach from the plastic into the water, potentially disrupting hormones, potentially affecting reproduction, even increasing a cancer risk. So it's something serious that we don't take lightly, and other potentially bad chemicals that we can ingest through plastic fragments, microplastics, and then even what's called nanoplastics. So we want to be careful. Opt for glass or stainless steel, or even BPA free plastic bottles. But I'd probably still try to stick to the glass and stainless steel. And then when it comes to the area of water, also at home, if we can we have a water filter system, whether it's with our faucet or in our refrigerator? I know many biohackers reverse osmosis. They have systems like that in their home. I don't know if those are a little bit pricey or not, but just even having a basic filter. I'm sure you've been someplace, whether it's a restaurant or someplace, where you went to take a drink of your water and it had a smell and a taste. And again, it might not kill you, but if it doesn't taste good or has a smell, you're probably not going to drink a lot of it. And we're trying to drink our 15 and a half cups at least, and 11 and a half cups for women. So we want it to not really have much of a smell nor a taste. So keep that in mind with a filter. We don't have to get too carried away, but can benefit from it. So I appreciate you listening. Hopefully it didn't sound too boring, because water is a basic thing that we do every day, but we need the reminders that 75% of folks are dehydrated, and we don't want to be one of them, because there's so many bodily functions that we need water for to be healthy. And again, here at LZ23 Strength, we're striving to exert ourselves to elevate our health and evolve in mind and body. Water is a simple but vital way that we can do that. So I appreciate you watching. Please smash the like button and please subscribe. And we look forward to talking to you soon. And please drink up.